Hello, everybody, and welcome to a live edition on this Monday, December 8th of Dodgers Territory. Alanna, Rizzo, Clint, Pasillas a little bit later today because it is winter meetings. We wanted to make sure that we were on top of things, that things were current, things were updated. Thanks for being here, you guys. We're happy to be back on this Monday. Rate us 5 stars. Thanks for being here. Like us, subscribe. Still trying to get to 15,000 subs. Would love to get there before Christmas, which is not that far away. So let's do it. You can subscribe on YouTube, anywhere that you get your podcasts. We will be happy to take.
We just passed 13.
I know, but I mean,
Awesome.
Can we do 2,000 more in a couple weeks?
Do it.
I don't know, but I think we can. I think we can try. We can definitely try, and I implore you guys to tell your friends, tell your peeps. I'm psyched. Alex Call, outfielder for the Los Angeles Dodgers, will be joining us momentarily. Again, one of the things Andrew Friedman was emphasizing is the need to shore up the outfield. We'll get into that momentarily. So Alex is going to be here in just a few minutes, but it is winter meetings time, Clint. Let's get to it in the big ticket. All right, so what's going on so far? And you know what? It's actually not a ton. But Clint, honestly, we knew this was kind of be the case, right? Like Dave Roberts addressing the media on day one saying, listen, we don't need to be exceptionally active. What do you read from that?
Yeah, I mean, this is something I'm happy to know that I've been kind of already putting this out there for, the weeks since the Dodgers went and won their back-to-back World Series title there. Looking at the roster, it's a very good roster. We'll eventually get to the point where I'm starting to roll here. It's a very good roster. They don't need a lot of work. This was something the more you break it down, the more you look at what's available and some of the bigger names, like, do the Dodgers really need a Cody Bellinger? Do they really need a Kyle Tucker? No, they have a lot of talent. We have talked about Alanna. They need some bounce backs from guys like Teoscar Hernandez, unless he gets traded. We'll talk about that a little in a little bit. But they need a bounce back from him. They need a healthy season from somebody like Tommy Edman. They need a full and complete season and into the playoffs for Andy Pajes. Maybe more of an A season than a B season for Freddie Freeman. But all those guys, they're all capable of stepping up. The starting rotation is great. The bullpen is going to be pretty good as long as some of like the younger dudes and the guys coming back from injury kind of work out. So yeah, there's not a lot of heavy lifting. There's no real big splash needed for this team. Now, would it be fun to land a Kyle Tucker? For sure. I'm sure Dodgers fans would love to be winning the offseason and all the headlines again, but they don't need to. And that is what I have been preaching for the last month and change.
Yeah, I don't know that it's the Kyle Tucker, but I understand what you're saying. It's always fun to be like, oh, wow, the Dodgers won the offseason, right? The Dodgers won winter meetings because they signed X player. But I don't think we need that this year. And Andrew Friedman, Clint, on the eve of winter meetings starting, which was today. But on Sunday, Andrew Friedman, president of baseball operations, was saying, listen, he kind of doubled down, saying, listen, we don't need to do much. We're going to keep a lower profile than the last two off seasons, saying there's not as much heavy lifting required this winter. And there really isn't. This is obviously from Bill Plunkett, friend of the program. He does a great job covering the Dodgers for the OC Register. I think we feel really good about the team, which is, by the way, the biggest Andrew Friedman cliche. I think we feel really good about the team we have as we sit here today. Obvi. I interjected the obvi. So it's not as much heavy lifting required. That being said, we're going to stay open-minded opportunities that present themselves. That's saying a lot without saying anything. And that basically means like we like our team, right? And I truly believe that he believes that. I believe that they like their team. And what's not to like? I think you throw this team out there on opening day and you're feeling pretty dang good about your chances. Again, this is a team that's built for October, right? We don't necessarily care about March 28th to whatever it is, September 30th. You care about October. But he did say, Clint, that figuring out the outfield is a top priority. Yeah. So what do you interpret that to mean?
I interpret that to mean, and even that first quote from Friedman there, I interpret that to mean that they are definitely keeping their options open, whether there is a clear and obvious advantage to trading away Teoscar Hernandez or moving him to left field, which is another one of the things that Dave Roberts had said is on the table. But actually, I want to go back to that first quote. We're open-minded to opportunities that present themselves. Another vintage Andrew Friedman type of line. He did continue. We're not going to force anything, and it could be an opportunity for the guys that they have. They're spending time kind of identifying the strengths that they have on the roster as it is, and trying to, quote, figure out the optimal configuration for our position player groups. That also comes from Andrew Friedman via Bill Plunkett and the Orange County Register. Bill does a great job, of course, as you all know, covering the Dodgers. But yeah, the outfield, whether it is being figured out internally or through some sort of move, I don't think Teoscar Hernandez is going to be traded. They even continued on with that idea as well. Brandon Gomes saying, like, you never say never on these kind of things. It's not something they anticipate. It would seem dumb if we're saying here, Alanna, that figuring out the outfield is kind of like the top priority. It would seem counterintuitive to trade away Teoscar Hernandez. So,
well, you're also hoping, yeah, I get you on that, but you're also hoping that Teo has the bounce back year, right? And doesn't have the 2025 season necessarily, has more of that 2024 season that left us all screaming from the mountaintops that we better bring this dude back, right? Because he was so valuable. And again, like I don't know what that necessarily looks like. I think the Dodgers could use a bona fide center fielder. I don't know who that is. But you definitely want a bounce back season from Teo. You're expecting Andy Pajes, who I believe is his birthday today. Happy birthday, Andy Pajes. You're hoping that he continues to develop. Obviously, he made tremendous improvements over the course of the year, but he's going to have to take it to the next level. And then you figure out left field, right? Whether that's an Andy Call or whether that's a Ryan Ward or whether that's like you move Tommy Edmonds to, I don't know what we're doing, but that's a
and I think that's a big factor there. You mentioned the Tommy Edmond factor. If Edmond coming off of this ankle surgery, which he had, I think last week, 2 weeks ago, if he comes back and is healthy enough to maybe slot in and be the center fielder, and I think this was kind of people saw the doc talk, the Davism of right now, Teoscar Hernandez is my starting right fielder right now. It's more so that I think the question to him was, could he be moved to left field rather than he be traded? And I think that might have been part of the clip that I put in here. A move to left field could happen depending on how things shake out. And I think, that is the Tommy Edmonds sort of factor. If he can figure out how to be healthy and hit consistently over the course of a season with a healthy ankle, he could be the center fielder. You slide Andy Pajes over to right, Teoscar to left. There is also the Ryan Ward factor, which I will bring up again.
You're big on this dude, and I get it. I'm learning more about him thanks to you. You're big on the pipeline guys and the farm guys, and I appreciate that because I'm not as well versed. But I mean, this guy is making a name for himself, right? So, do I feel super confident that Ryan Ward would be our starting left fielder? Maybe not, but maybe I don't know enough about the dude. I mean, this is the Los Angeles Dodgers we're talking about, right? So it's like, we'll see. But I do like the fact that like we're nitpicking everything at this point. Yeah, because we have the ability to do so.
My favorite part is, and yes, there's like a Tarek Skubal rumor out there. I don't really want to waste our time about that today.
It's not happening.
Let's get through the winter meetings. We'll be back on live on Thursday. Katie Wu will be joining us from the winter meetings, and I'm sure we'll have a little bit more of an idea of the reality of the Tigers trading away their ace. I know Ken Rosenthal, your co-host on Fair Territory every Thursday, most Thursdays, as long as you're around. He was advocating for the Tigers. Yes.
I was getting an award this week. Okay, that's why I wasn't around. How dare you? How dare you? And by the way, we're flipping it to Friday this week because of Ken's schedule. So don't throw me under the bus, big guy.
You know what? I'm not going to say anything. Alanna is perfect. Alanna is wonderful. But the point I want to make before we get to welcoming Alex Call, very much looking forward to that conversation. But with Ryan Ward, yes, that it is not an ideal situation to have a rookie who has never even had a cup of coffee as your everyday left fielder. I understand that, and that's where I do think they eventually end up. I'll put me on the screen for now. Eventually, do end up landing some sort of veteran. Bob Nightingale had mentioned Harrison Bader as somebody the Dodgers are kind of kicking the tires on. they have been linked to him often. But with Ryan Ward, quickly, I'll put the numbers up for the third and final time every year. Look at that. The homers
Love this.
increase, the runs batted in, they increase, the strikeouts decrease. He is putting in the work. He has gotten better as a defender in the outfield. Another one of the things that Andrew had said in his conversation with Bill Plunkett was like, at some point we need to look to inject some youth, inject some of the pipeline guys, the younger players into the
Yeah,
mix.
I mean, this our team, and I understand that. I mean, aren't we all getting older? Aren't we all day to day, as Vin used to say? But like, yes, this team is aging, right? Like,
Yeah.
I get it. Like, if you look at your major stars, I mean, Freddie, Mookie, they're getting older. I get that, so I can understand the need to want to interject some younger talent in there. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I get it. A ton more to come up on Dodgers territory. We're going to talk to Alex Call here momentarily, but don't forget, guys, support the show. We appreciate it so much. The store is open, and holidays are right around the corner. I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. We've talked to you since then, but Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, all the things, they're coming up. We want you guys to support our show. I'm going to ask you, please support us. You can scan the QR code, DodgersTerritoryShop.com/promo/holiday, and use the code HOLIDAY at checkout to save. You can save. You can get some really cool stuff. The stuff is legit. Like Clint just got a beanie. I got a hoodie. I like it. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
We appreciate that. All right, we're going to take a quick break.
Actually, we're not.
Come back.
We are.
We're not taking a break?
Let's just go straight to welcoming Alex Call. This is World Series champion Alex Call. He's going to join us right now.
Always a privilege when we get to have a Los Angeles Dodger on the show, and that is Alex Call today, outfielder for your Los Angeles Dodgers, World Series winner and outfielder. Thanks so much, Alex, for being with us. We appreciate it. We're going to take you back for a moment. Other than winning the World Series, what was your favorite moment of being on this team and being a Dodger?
Man, thanks for having me, guys. It's a tough one because there's so many special moments. There's so many memories that are lifetime memories. But the first one that comes to my head is Kershaw's last start. Just being able to watch his career, be a fan, look up to him, as a Christian athlete as well, and just be able to see the fans interact and have like the emotion that they had knowing it was his last start. So just being able to be a part of that and give him a nice hat tip for the last time in his career, that was really special. And, seeing his press conference and just how much he cares about the organization and all of his teammates was a really cool moment.
Yeah, having that opportunity to spend the last couple of months with a bona fide certified Hall of Famer, that has to be pretty cool. And understanding that those boys, obviously everybody there wants to win that ring, wants to bring that trophy home for themselves, but very unselfishly, I know how much those gentlemen wanted to bring that trophy home for 22 one last time. Yeah, World Series champion, man. Pretty cool. Has that whole thing kind of sunk in? Obviously, I know you've been part of the groups bouncing around. You visited the Lakers, you visited the Kings. Has that whole thing kind of sunk in for you?
It's just an amazing feeling. I still feel like I'm on top of the world, just enjoying it all. I mean, could be a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Hopefully we can do it again next year. But just to go from Washington, traded over at the deadline, and then all of a sudden, World Series champion, you got to take advantage of everything that they're throwing at you and soak it all in. Just be fully present in the moment. And, praise God, it's just been an amazing run. It's been an amazing experience, and couldn't have asked to do it with a better group of guys either. They were really welcoming for me and just made me feel part of the team and made it easy to be myself and compete for it all.
You bring up a good point, and I want to ask you about that. You said, it might only be one time. There are guys that have played many years in this great game of ours, Alex, that never get to touch a World Series trophy. They never get to win it. So what was the vibe like when you come over from Washington? Obviously, this is a veteran group of guys, been there, done that. But what was the vibe like, and how much of what you just said, hey, don't take this for granted, how much of that was a message?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the vibe was it was a little bit I wouldn't say maybe just a little bit nervousing because when I got there, we weren't playing our best ball by any means. The Tampa Bay series was my first series, and I was like from afar, it's like, oh, I know the Dodgers, they're gonna figure it out. They're gonna once everybody comes back healthy, it's just gonna be a matter of time, and they're gonna start rolling. But when I got into the building, it was like, yeah, we're kind of going through it right now, and I think the confidence was always there that we're gonna figure it out. We've been here, done that. Um, but it definitely took a little bit of time, and even the first month that I was there, we were right about 500. And so there was never any panic though, because again, there's just so many great players. There's so many good guys that the back of their baseball card is so incredible that you just know it's just a matter of time. And so it was really fun to just kind of see them lock it in, um, dial it up a notch, if you will. And as we get into the playoffs, even it was just like, hey, we expect to be here. We expect to move on. We expect to keep going. And, then when we got to the World Series, that was like, okay, now we're finally here where we expect to be. And then let's win it all. You know what I'm saying?
I love hearing that perspective from you because that's something, particularly Alanna and I, trying to preach to fans all throughout the season. People complaining about, oh, they're not out here winning 162. You're gonna go through these dry spells. You're gonna go through points where people just plainly aren't hitting the baseball or not throwing the baseball particularly well. But this is a team where it doesn't really matter about 162. Yeah, it's important to some degree, but we're going to make it to the postseason. Chances are this club is good enough to make it to the World Series. And it is cool to understand, like, you got that like immediately. You get that you're only there for a couple of months and you're able to kind of see that mindset from this club. They're going to turn it on when they need to. That said, there are some weird points. Obviously, you guys, you lose the final two games at home in that World Series. There, you're heading to Toronto down 3-2. 3-2. What were the vibes kind of like on that flight to Toronto, and how important was I'm gonna call it that sniper that took down Dave Roberts racing Hesong Kim? How important was that to kind of get the juices going again, get everybody loose and ready to win those final two in Toronto?
Yeah, I mean, it was obviously, this is the highest stakes. This is the World Series, and we are in a can't lose situation. But I think how I was feeling, how the guys are feeling is like, look, if you told us at the beginning of the year we're gonna be 2 wins away from a World Series, all we have to do is win 2 games in a row, and it's like, well, I'd sign up for that, opportunity. I think we can do that, and that was it. It's like we don't have to do anything crazy. We just have to win 2 games in a row. That's all it is. And then we get to Toronto and we have our practice, and Doc, Doc just, I don't even know where it came up from or what happened, but I was like, what is he doing? And then like he started running like on the inside. I'm like, because at first I was like, okay, this is gonna be a real race. He's like going with a little bit of a head start, and all of a sudden as he gets around second, he goes down. He goes.
Down.
It was just so funny. It was just it was
Woody loving it right there, by the way.
yeah, it was just like there was nothing you could do except hysterically laugh. And then he gets up, that's right, and he had like a hamstring like pull, and he wasn't faking that. That was completely legit because he was like halfway through the race, he was like, oh, like this is real. Like I got to beat Kim right here. And he tried to turn it on, and he probably hasn't hit that gear for a while, and just oh, it was so funny, and it was just exactly what we need. We weren't tight. We weren't nervous. It was just like, hey, we got to go out there. We got the best team. We're gonna go out play ball, and it'll all take care of itself.
Yeah, the levity was perfect. It was perfect timing. You got to love Doc's willingness to be that guy and have some fun. I tell you what, Alex, you made the most of your opportunities. Nobody gets to play as much as they want in the postseason unless you're like a Shohei Ohtani or a Freddie Freeman or whatever it is, Clayton Kershaw, whenever he wants, and that type of stuff. But 4 hits, 3 walks, 15 plate appearances, a 533 on base percentage. I mean, you made the most of every single opportunity. How much pride do you take in just being able to post number one and produce number two?
Yeah, well, thank you. It's certainly, there's a lot of pride that goes into it. Just knowing that you have to prepare and be ready to help this team. I mean, again, I came over this team and I'm like, this is the best team ever on paper. Like, I unbelievable. And the fact that they want me to just kind of come in and be who I am and take good at bats and all that stuff, like it was really validating for me. And so I took it and I'm like, all right, I have to just keep being who I am, but I'm going all in. And whatever that may be, whenever Doc puts my name on the lineup card or puts me in the game, it's my job to be ready. It's my job to be focused, and it's my job to help this team in any way that I can. It doesn't mean I'm always going to come through, but I know that every time I step in the box, every time I'm on the field, I'm going to be in the best position to perform because of how I've prepared. And so I think when you have that confidence in how you've prepared and how you're ready, then it makes the game easy to go out there and play and then trust the process. And in the playoffs, it's a little bit, the process sounds great, but you need results. So when you get results, it's also, very rewarding. It takes a little bit of the pressure off, and you can just kind of keep the momentum going. So, yeah, really was just excited for every opportunity that I had and put my full attention and focus into every pitch, just like I always do. But to do it in a setting where this is something you always dream about, you want to play in the postseason, you want to play with the highest stakes, and just getting a chance to compete with the best in the world
Mhm.
for a trophy, it just really really special, and grateful to have the chance to do it.
You're kind of expanding on the whole idea of playing time and role and all that kind of stuff. What would you say? I mean, even coming from Washington, you weren't necessarily playing every single day. I'm sure you took a little bit more of a step back than you anticipated in LA. But then you look at the other dudes on the 26-man roster, many 13 position players. You're like, that's a lot of all-star games. That's a lot of talent over there. What was the biggest challenge for you, kind of getting into that mindset of just staying ready? We saw Miggy Rose already talked about this offseason. He takes a couple weeks off, stays ready, stays in the moment, and has arguably the two biggest games for this team in games 6 and 7 for Blake Snell. I'll do the hand thing. But yeah, what was that biggest challenge for you in kind of not really necessarily playing as much as maybe you anticipated or expected in coming over here regular season and into the postseason?
Yeah, well, like you said, I wasn't playing every day with Washington, and I kind of knew what my role was, and then Doc kind of laid out what the role was going to be as we were moving forward, and it just kind of makes you ready to do whatever, and kind of when your name's going to be called, when your name's going to be penciled in, you kind of get a feel for it. Either way, yeah, obviously you'd love to play every day, but again, like you said, when you look it up and down the lineup, it's like, hey, I'm cool just gelling in with these guys whenever they need me, and obviously I continue to work, continue to grind to the point where I would love to be in that lineup card every single day, but that's not up to me. All I can do is control what I can control, take what they give me, and then do the very best that I can, and then hope that I get more. I mean, when you do well, usually you get a little bit more. So if you perform, if you're ready, that you can only control when they put you in. You can't
Mm-hmm.
control when they put you in. You can be ready for when they put you in, and then when you do, if you're in a good spot, you're able to perform. Hopefully, your name gets in there a little bit more. And so that's kind of the mindset, the approach. You always want more, but you're content with where you are because well, one, this is an amazing blessing to be playing this game in the first place, an amazing blessing to be on this best team ever, and just having fun every day. So you want to play, but at the same time, you just understand that this is a team. It takes every single person to be ready, focused, and willing to do their job, and just have a great attitude at all times. And that's part about being a team. And so that was, team first mindset for me, ready to be a contributor whenever I need to be, but then always hoping to perform and then get a little bit more on your plate.
Yeah, I love that.
That's all you can do, man. That's all you can do is do the best that you can and hope that it's rewarded and have a good attitude and a good team mindset. Talk about a guy that did his job and then some, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. I don't know if you heard of him, but my word, World Series MVP. This guy absolutely shoved. Would have, taking the ball at any time. And it was so funny when we saw the behind the scenes on Backstage Dodgers, a great crew there on Sportsnet LA, going in and following you guys everywhere. And everyone's like bowing down to Yama and all those things. From a teammate perspective, Alex, and just from a fan of the game, what is your impression of what he did?
Yeah, I mean, it was truly remarkable, spectacular, so cool. I mean, it's just so cool to be a part of that, to see it. I mean, you're so nervous in the dugout, like playing through situations in your head. You know, I'm still available to go in the game, so I'm trying to just execute my role. But like, you're watching the game go down, and and Yoshinobu comes in to, you know, clean things up, and you're like, oh my gosh, like he pitched last night, he just did all this stuff, and he comes out there and he throws a 92-mile-an-hour splitter, like dotted, and it's like that looks the exact same as it did last night, and it's just like, how is that possible? Like in today's game, and you know, guys just don't do that. So, and then to go a few more innings and close it out, and I mean, on top of his spectacular performances in all the other series and in game 2, and man, it was just so much fun to watch. And I just have such an appreciation for what he did for our team, being willing to go out there and take the ball, warming up in the 18th inning of the 18-inning game, willing to take the ball there. You know, just a true professional, great teammate, competitor, and you know, one of the best. So it was just an all-time postseason and all-time performance, and everybody was blessed to be able to watch that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you got to have some people step up to win a World Series. My sweet word, did Yoshi step up for this team and for the fans, for everybody to go back to back for him and get somebody like you a ring, much deserved, all that kind of stuff. You know, you talk about role, we talk about playing time, we talk about now trying to run it back. What sort of things are you working on to be ready for that 2026 season? Obviously, we still don't know quite what the roster looks like, but right now you're penciled into that starting lineup. What are you working on? How are you trying to get better? What sort of communication have you had with the club about, you know, what things are looking like heading towards spring training?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just focused on being the best that I can be. However they choose to use me is up to them. But I'll be ready. I'll be focused, and I'm working on just getting, you know, better, bigger, faster, stronger. Continuing to have great discipline at the plate. Take my strengths, keep them strengths. Look at my, you know, areas where I can improve. You know, for me, I think advantage counts. On the offensive side is something where I can maybe be a little bit more aggressive. I think I was one of the best 2-strike hitters in baseball last year, so keep that, because that's the toughest thing. But then maybe just be a little bit more, you know, a little bit more aggressive in those advantage counts. Not, you know, staying within myself, but having a plan and approach to, you know, try to drive the ball a little bit more.
Love it.
I wanted to say happy 6th wedding anniversary to you, Alex, and your beautiful wife, Samantha. I'm a little concerned, though, that you're sitting in the car. Is there a reason that you have to sit in the car? Is she upset with you? Is it quiet in there because your son is in the house? I mean, what are we doing in the car, Alex?
Riz.
That's exactly right. I was thinking, you know, where's the best spot for me to have, you know, because I love my son. He loves me. He loves playing with daddy. As soon as daddy comes in the door, it's time for daddy to play. So daddy's not quite in the door yet. So we delayed the play time a little bit. And I figured this would be the most peaceful area that I could have a uninterrupted interview for at least a few minutes before it's daddy duty.
Well, daddy,
Well,
we appreciate that.
Happy anniversary, Alex and Sam.
Thank you, guys. Yeah,
and guys, we appreciate. I'm going to call him that's Daddy now. Make that the official nickname, fans. That is Daddy for 2026. There, you might see Daddy as your opening day left field. Okay, now it feels weird saying it, but Alex, we very much appreciate the time. That is a World Series champion, Alex Call. Best of luck for the rest of the off season. Best of luck in spring training. Looking forward to catching you at Camelback sometime, man.
All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you having me.
All right, Alex. Merry Christmas. Thanks for the time.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, you
man.
guys are welcome. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Of course.
Yes, that is Alex Call, World Series champion. Alanna, what do you say from here? We get to last licks.
Let's do it. All right, guys, I'm a little bummed about this one because this is Lula Bean. We really thought we had an adopter for her in North Dakota. Unfortunately, that adoptive family was not able to fulfill their promise because their senior dog ended up having a seizure today and they didn't want to bring in any additional stress. We totally get that. Their senior dog, their resident dog, Jack, is the utmost priority right now. So Lula Bean needs an adopter. She's a great dog, guys. She's a border collie shepherd mix. She's about a year and a half, maybe 2 years old, probably not even two. She is a tripod. She had a very bad broken back leg. And after consulting a couple of different vets, they thought it best to amputate the leg. But I tell you what, she gets along just great. Okay. She's a great tripod. She's smart as a whip. Good girl. She needs an adopter. Please, please, please consider sharing Lula Bean. She's being fostered in Crestline, California, but we need a forever home for her. All right, so all Dodgers with Clint Pasillas. I'm imagining you're talking more about winter meetings. What's going on right after us tonight? What are you doing?
Yeah. Myself, Jeff Snyder, we're going to be live as soon as we are wrapped up here, pretty much. I technically scheduled it for 6:35 Pacific time. But yeah, you know what? There we're going to address a little bit this Tarek Skubal thing and how people are trying to link him to the Dodgers. I don't know how Jeff feels about it. We'll have that conversation and more things about what right now means coming out of Dave Roberts' mouth when it comes to Teoscar Hernandez as the everyday right fielder. So, guys, tune in right after Alanna and I wrap here on Dodgers territory.
Yes, and Clint and I will be back again live on Thursday unless something magnanimous happens. We'll be live before then. But a baseball thought for the road before we say goodbye. This was so much fun. We know that Freddie Freeman, of course, Dodgers first baseman, MVP, all of the things, has Canadian roots. His mom is from Canada. His mom, who passed away from cancer, is from Canada. So he has a lot of ties to Canada. And also, of course, he is our guy, right? The Toronto Blue Jays played the Los Angeles Dodgers in the World Series. So Ryan Reynolds does something every single year for sick kids. And Freddie Freeman is a good sport, and he wanted to do this commercial for sick kids for the Children's Hospital there in Toronto, and the kids just gave Freddie Freeman the business. Just gave him the business. So he was such a good sport. The kids were great. Go back to sunshine and traffic, you hoser. You ruined everything. And it's so awesome. Both Ryan Reynolds, of course, and Freddie Freeman, the kiddos, sick kids there in Toronto. What a great campaign. What a great opportunity. They were taking in fundraisers up to $1 million. That was the amount that was going to be matched. So good on Freddie Freeman. Good on Ryan Reynolds. Good on Toronto. Good on the kiddos. Good on all of it. What a fun thing.
Yeah, I love Freddie being able to kind of play around with it. Obviously, he's not the funniest dude, but he's a funny dude. And having some fun with that is awesome, as long as they are finding a way to raise for charity and all that kind of stuff. Before we do take off, Snydog is in the chat, and he says disrespect for the with Clint Pasillas part. Listen. You're still new here, my guy. But, guys, we appreciate you hanging out with us here on this kind of half live, half unlive edition of Dodgers Territory. We are here. We waited up, but we appreciate Alex Call taking some time on his anniversary to hang out with us. He was not in the doghouse. He was trying to be daddy.
He was not. He was trying to do us a solid and have a quiet interview. All right, so make sure you guys tune in to All Dodgers with Clint Pasillas. It's on now. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button for us here on Dodgers Territory. Trying to get to 15,000 subs. We appreciate you guys very much. Clint and I will be back on Thursday. And don't forget to check out DodgersTerritoryShop.com for all your cool stuff. We will see you then, guys. Thanks so much. For Dodgers.
Bye.